Just looking at this application for a new U.S. passport. Yes, yes, yes. The proof of being a U.S. citizen. Yes. And the State Department has a copy of my birth certificate. Yeah. My driver's license. Yes. Front and back. And well, let's see. Proof of identity. You must present your original identification. Submit a photocopy. Yes. You know, when you decided to issue this protection order, and it looks to me like Lewis County requires photocopy. How do you prove the actual identity of a petitioner that doesn't appear in court? Now, if it requires a photo ID, yes, and an actual signature of the individual applying for a passport, right. Do you think the State Department, see, when you join the military, right, you do give up some rights and some power as a citizen in exchange for the jurisdiction of the United States military. But when you issue a protection order where you say, well, we're going to enforce it, we're going to make you, that steps on a few toes. Now, you cannot actually identify the individual known as the petitioner without proof of identification. Yes. And unless the signature matches the actual court order as a receipt of a copy, yes, there's a good probability that somebody petitioned the court that was not the actual petitioner. Now, it would be like me applying for a passport, yes, without any of these necessaries to submit with this form, yes. The proof of the United States citizenship of the individual known as the petitioner, yes. Proof of identity. Maybe an actual appearance because you don't usually appear. You send in a photo, a picture of yourself. In fact, why don't you get me all the pictures of every passport everywhere in the world for the last 40 years? It reminds me of that facial recognition technology that Facebook has. Yes. Is there anybody in the military that recognizes any of the actual pictures that have been used to issue passports? Now I know. Okay. I had pictures done of myself, my wife, and my 7 kids, including Benjamin when he was approximately 7 or 8 months old. Yes. Now, a recent color photograph must meet passport requirements. You can't just send in a Polaroid. Can't print them off at Walmart. No. And then there's what's known as the fees. Yes, yes. Now, this is an application for those that are under the age of 16. Both parents of the child's legal guardians must appear. Yes. But when you issued a protection order in 2011, Exhibit B, Jack, yes, yes, yes. I was not an actual resident, right? I was in jail on Guam. And you reissued the temporary protection order. Did my wife have to provide identification that she was actually Heidi Lee Budnick? Yeah. Why don't you get me her picture? Ooch. And then the video surveillance camera footage of every hearing you've had. Uh-oh, somebody's been impostering. Now, you issued this when there was no actual jurisdiction of law? Yes. See, court orders could obstruct not only my freedom of movement, yes, but the freedom of movement as a power, yes. And see, there's life, liberty, and property. These are kind of rights, yes. But then there's the ability to move. How do you know the actual identity of the petitioner if there's no signature there? Could you compare the signature on the driver's license with the signature on the actual court order, thereby having a positive identification that the individual that actually appeared in court is the individual known as the petitioner? Now, there could be a different kind of fraud going on here that we haven't talked about. Now, if Lewis County puts it in their rules, you would think Clallam County would too. Now, as directed by public law. Ooh. Application for children, yeah, evidence of the child's U.S. citizenship, yeah, evidence of the relationship to the parents, yeah, and original parent guardian government issued identification and a photocopy, yes. Now, I've applied for numerous passports over the course of my life. You said that you could issue court orders. You know, it's not just the power of being a citizen as being important, yes. It's what they give up when they join the military. They can't just come and go whenever they want. They have a commanding officer. Well, obviously, there's no possible way I could be working with intelligence. But I never gave up my citizenship. Now, if only one parent appears, you must also submit one of the following. Yes, yes, yes. Did you issue a dissolution of marriage where I didn't get any notice? See, these passports are only issued for 5 years for most children. Yes. For parents, they're issued for 10 years. If you are 16 years of age and older, yeah, they're valid for 10 years. But if you're under 16 years of age, they're only valid for 5 years. Did Heidi apply for passports? Well, now you violated numerous laws. Yes, yes, yes. See, this whole concept that you're going to make me do something when you don't have jurisdiction, it's kind of like being militant in your approach. I inform you, yes, that I did not get notice of court hearings. Yes, I informed you that the petitioner didn't sign it. Yeah. There's no acknowledged receipt of a copy of the order, and there's no way to have a positive identification of the signature of the petitioner, yes, without her signing for it. You decided to issue a court order. Now, I want every fucking idiot in that courthouse to understand right now. Your militant government happens to be violating my rights and my power as a citizen. Now, what happens when a militant government, yes, issues a court order, where there's no proof of identification of the person known as the petitioner? Yes, because you're militant. It's a little different than terrorism. Let's say you were another military. Something that the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, and all of those that are active duty military. In fact, let's run through the passports. Okay. Of every individual that has volunteered for every form of military service. Yes. Now, no, there's like 7 of them, right? There's the Surgeon General. Yes. Give me every employee. And then the actual passports of their whole family. Yes. And then there's the National Guard, right? There's the Coast Guard, yes. There's the Air Force, right? The Army, oops. The Navy, yes. The Marines, right? The Surgeon General, and I don't think Homeland Security is an actual military, yes. It would be only those individuals that can be called into active service. Now, every time a person enlists in the United States military, Surgeon General, they give up certain powers and rights that I have that they don't have. Yeah, they do. They have to take orders from somebody. Yes. Now, you're ordering me to go to court on the 30th, aren't you, Judge? Yes. And you don't think it's militant. Oh, oh, it's a little different than terrorism. Oh, is there a military? Well, if I have no power as a citizen, yes, and I have no right, and I've proven that there's nobody in the United States that can sue the petitioner, yes, for anything being true or correct in this court order, yes. And there was no positive identification of the individual that actually motioned the court because they were or were not there. I wasn't there that day. Right. But you did not require any. Oh, we have another military in the United States.